Welcome to the Wrestling Still Cool podcast. My name's Cam. That's Mark.
Hey, y'all. Appreciate you joining in.
All right, we got Stan Stylez with us here today. Go ahead and say hi, man.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good. So, am I seeing this right? Your nickname is Sizzling?
Yes.
Okay, so where'd you come up with that?
I didn't at first. Someone told me that I was working for. Oh man, this had to be back in 2000. I'm gonna say it's 2015, maybe 16. He was like, "Hey, his name was oh my god, I can't even remember his name. Jeez, wow, wow, this is so long ago. But he said, hey, I want to change your. I was working for a company, and he said, hey, I want to change your name, to, you mind me using it? And I said, well, what do you want me to call me? And he's like, well, I like Stan Stylez, but I want to call you Sizzling Stan Stylez. I was like, oh. I'm like, I like it. It's no one uses that sizzling in the front of their name, and he's like, the sizzling body, the shake weight, the muscles. And I was like, yeah, and I just used it for his company. I believe I was supposed to be in a tag team, with someone that had like Too Hot or Too something in his name, but it never worked out. So I just kept the sizzling because I was like, oh, you know what? It's a good ring to it, and why not?
Did that involve a change in the character?
I don't know. My character's changed so much. It constantly evolves. So I kind of say it to younger wrestlers that you need to be like an onion. You need to evolve and have different layers and stuff so you won't get stale and always have fun with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen that sizzling. I'm like, that was interesting. It's interesting. It can cool kind of name, something that's not used really.
No, yeah, and I was gonna drop it. I was thinking of dropping it one day, and then buddy of mine was like, no, keep it, because when you just type in Sizzling Stan, you come up everywhere. And I was like, you know what, you're right, so it's easier to find me.
yeah, of course. So, now what about Styles?
Oh man, this is way back. Somebody asked me what my wrestling was gonna be, and I said, Stan Stylez, and they was like, oh, I like it, and that was it, and it stuck.
Okay, it just kind of came up with it. Okay, that's cool. First time I had heard the name, I wonder if there's some kind of, I guess, something between that and AJ Styles or something. So that was kind of where it came from, or what the influence was behind all that.
It probably, I'm gonna say most likely not from AJ Styles, but from Joey Styles, because I was a huge Joey Styles mark for his ring announcing. So it probably, I don't know. They were literally saying they're giving me all these names, and I'm like, nah, and I was like, Stan Stylez, and they were like, oh, well, let's keep it. I like it.
So you're an ECW fan then, huh?
Oh yeah, of course.
I figure as much. So are you up north?
Philadelphia.
Well, okay, then that's why.
Yeah. That's what I thought I saw on the internet. You're from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. That's interesting too. As I live in Philadelphia myself, but the Philadelphia in Tennessee though.
Yeah, Philly's definitely a magical place.
Yeah, I hear you. It's funny. Yeah, it is. I haven't been into that Philadelphia yet, but the one that I live in is a lot smaller.
Yeah,
it's a small farm town. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen that you're from Philadelphia. That's cool, man. Ain't been there yet.
Yeah, and with the ECW and whatnot, mentioning Joey Styles, and they're huge in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, because that's where ECW Arena was.
Yep.
Now, one of the things I was going to mention with Sizzling, one of the things that stuck out to me was when I saw it, I'm like, okay, you're right. One, I've never seen anyone else use that, but I don't know what you listen to musically. But there is a rapper by the name of Tech9. Instead of saying, you know what I mean, he says, you know what I'm sizzling. So that's the only other place I've seen it.
Oh, I never. Hey, learn something new every day. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. If you watch his pay-per-views, I'm sorry. If you watch his interviews, he whenever he talks, he's instead of saying, you know what I mean, he says, you know what I'm sizzling. So that's, if you could actually, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your promos. You can actually turn that into your promo.
Yeah, I could. I don't want them to come after me and be like, hey, that's my line, buddy. But I'll be like, oh, hey now. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been around the business for about what, good several years now, a little long time. What about 2010 or 12 were you debuted or something?
2010. So in February of 2010. So it's a little over 11 years.
Yeah, been quite a while.
Hmm.
That's a good thing. It's been enjoying the business that long, huh? Just what was your influence behind getting the business?
Just like anybody else, I always watched wrestling as a young age and as a kid, and I'm like, you know what, told my mom, I want to do that when I grow up, and she's like, that's great, Stan. Like, yeah, whatever you want to do, and I was like, I'm going to do that, and eventually, I did the whole backyard thing, like a lot of kids did, in the '90s, and then I was like, hey, time to take this a seriously, and get trained, and I want to be in that ring, and so I did, and followed my dreams, and yeah, crazy that I've been in so long. It's weird because I feel like I've been in, like, because the business always changed, and it's changed so much since I first started. It makes me even feel that I've been in even longer than 11 years a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, and I understand it's evolved quite a bit since that time frame, and
Yeah. Oh,
obviously
so
being
much.
inside the business as a wrestler, obviously you've seen a whole lot more and see so much more changes going on and how much evolved, but also with the independence kind of
Hmm.
opened up more opportunities for you too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. There's a lot more. Well, the thing is, pre-COVID, there was so much stuff going on, and wrestling was booming big time. There were so many, especially around my way. There were so many companies, debuting, and a lot of that stuff pretty much got halted with COVID. And it's coming back slowly but surely now that restrictions are getting lifted and stuff's getting better out there. But still,
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough out there in the entertainment business, especially
Hmm.
with all the COVID stuff. I mean, it's tough in a lot of places too, but just the entertainment business, it gets tougher when of course,
Yeah.
with all the restrictions and you can't have the live audience, and then of course
Hmm.
all the gyms and everything closed up and so forth. But it's hopefully get back to whatever that normal is. I don't know what that actually means, but
Yeah, yeah. Those the 3 months of that we were had nothing. There was nothing going on. Like, it was almost like, what we're gonna do it. And I look back and I'm like, man, like, how did I survive not wrestling all that time? And it was good though for like wrestlers who were like had nagging injuries to, like, pretty much, um have
Recoup.
time to, yeah, recoup, and, like, even me, like, just to get my mind, like, just to sit, and like to sit and think, like, what new things can I do when wrestling comes back, like what matches I want to do for my company, and, like, for Intergender Bonanza, and, like, just different ideas, and, like, really made me, like, think of, like, cool things, and, like, new ideas and stuff. So it was good to have that downtime, not for just for a wrestler's mind, but for the body too.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Who were you trained by?
Man, a lot. I first ever was trained. Um, it was, I'm trying to remember the It was it's not around anymore. I think it was EPWA. I trained there for a little bit. Then I went and trained for UCW. It was Joe Gacy and his tag partner at the time. Were training me and a bunch of my friends, and that company never really took off. And then from there, went over to Ace, wrestled in Union City, New Jersey, and then from there went over to DWF and was training with Pinky Sanchez. Like, he kind of, like, fine tuned me. So
Wow.
I've been training a lot of different places. Yeah,
I mean, it looks like it's mainly up in that northeast area.
yeah. Always nervous. I always tell young wrestlers, like, there's a lot of great schools right now out there too. But I always say, hey, get your get advice from a lot of different places, because you're gonna learn from a lot of different guys, like, and find what works for you best. It's, the more training, the better.
Oh yeah, no, understandable.
Mhm.
Have you ever done shows down in the south, like in Florida?
I never been to Florida. I've been all over the country. I've been to Georgia and North and South Carolina, but I never got to make it down to Florida. Funny that you said that, because I was planning on doing that, Florida, like, but again, COVID, so
Right.
I kind of put a hold on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely understand that.
I have to ask because it's whenever we talk to a lot of people from the independents, it's one of the things, I do want to make it down to Florida and everything else, and I do know, like with WrestleMania being here, I know they're going to be running shows in this area, so.
Yeah, I'm sticking to the my home base though. Probably in like Jersey, WrestleMania weekend. Keep it safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone that lives in Florida, they don't we don't try to keep it safe for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
So
else?
you're also wrestling promoter too, aren't you?
Yeah.
You got your own company, right?
Yeah. I started the Intergender Bonanza back in 2018. It was just an idea I had is to run an intergender show, and it just took off big time. And the 8th show is coming up on April 24th in Williamstown, New Jersey, at the H2O Wrestle Center.
There was an advertisement I saw with Sue Young, like you guys put it on together, right?
Yeah, that I wrestled Sue Young the very second Intergender Bonanza.
Now, how's it working with Sue Young?
Oh, fantastic! Oh, I miss her. I miss her so much. I wanted to have her a couple of the other shows. But unfortunately, with Impact and scheduling, it's so hard because she can be free, and then Impact will change their dates, and it's like, oh no, and then she can't make it because she's contracted them. But y'all, she's awesome.
I will say it's amazing to see how much she pulled off the. I'm gonna relate it to the Three Faces of Foley in Impact
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, it's great. You know what? And I have a lot of friends who actually wrestle in Impact, and I haven't watched Impact so long. I feel bad for saying that, but like I know she's doing the Susan thing, and I haven't checked it out yet. But I love the Sue Young gimmick. I love that. I love the Susie gimmick too. That grew on me. But yeah, she's very creative.
That's what I mean. She did the Sue Young, the Susie, and the
Yep.
Susan, and it's one of those where it's like, okay, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by far. You can evolve your character in something like that where it's just get very creative. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, big time.
What was the influence behind you seeing a lot of the intergender matches too? It's like a lot of influence on that one.
I always, I well, I when I was started, maybe like my second or third year, I was put into intergender matches, and I was like, oh man, what back in those days, it really wasn't like even now but even back then, like no one was like, oh, what the hell is this, a guy versus girl, and I was like, man, like, how am I, good. I had my character, my crazy character. So I'm like, you know what? It really is just like wrestling a guy. There's no, there's, hey, there really, no equal in wrestling. How can someone say, this girl can't beat you? Like what? Like there's a lot of tough girls that, really tough girls like Sue Young, my God, that I've been in the ring with. And honestly, I love intergender matches because I feel like I can tell a really good story in there with anyone, but especially a female. Oh my God, like it makes for good stories. And I'm always was for equality in wrestling, big time. And I can put on a really good match with a guy or girl and have people laugh and go crazy. So yeah, it really was just an idea that I had. It was I wrestled with my one friend, Rain Sky, for the first. That's where it came up. That's where it came up. Like I was wrestling for a company out in West Virginia, SCWA, and my opponent for that night couldn't make it. She didn't have an opponent. And I just told the opponent, like, why don't I wrestle her? And they were like kind of like reluctant at first. And I said, no, it's gonna be great, and gave me the okay. And that pretty much was the catalyst to start doing my own company, my own show, and then eventually went to my own company.
Oh, okay, yeah. So something you don't see like a lot necessarily is the intergender matches. So that's why I was like, especially that consistent from one person.
Yeah, it's starting to really come. I really say a lot, and a lot of people told me, like, I definitely kind of brought it to this area more. Like you see it more, and like when I started doing my shows, they're like, maybe I grabbed the brass ring before anybody did.
Yeah, absolutely. So you would say there's not like a huge difference between wrestling the man and the woman. It's just more or less just the agilities kind of thing, but it's not as different as